Hey, what's going on, guys? Look, it's Tristan here, back with my first Draft League video in forever, am I right? Well, today I'm here with my PWC Season 9, I believe, Week 1 game, and I am hyped for this one. I am really happy to be back in the league. I'm happy that I was given the invitation to come back. I redrafted the team. I'm not going to do a draft ramble like I did in the past, but I am here with Week 1 battle, and that's even better. So I got something. Who's trying to interrupt me while I record? Uh-oh. It's Greg. Uh-oh. Say hi to YouTube, Greg. Good friend, Gregulator. Oh gosh, am I right? So, yeah. So, nonetheless, I'm gonna go back to here. The important stuff, am I right? So, you don't look at my videos to see that kind of stuff. But no matter what. So, going in, Week 1, I am facing Zern, my good friend Zern. I am really happy to have met him through the league and everything. He's in the IPA Mining League now. He's a really good candidate. I think that he's going to do amazingly in there. But first, I have to prove maybe a little that he might not do amazingly in PWC because I have to smack him up in there, right? I don't know. He's a good friend. This is all for fun, of course. Why not? And basically, yeah, what we see here is my team. I have the Infernape, Crocodile, Zygarde 10%, Shaman, Piloswine, Drampa, Azumarill, Magneton, Vikavolt, Skarmory, and the Mega Latios. So something I do want to point out is, don't at me, but yes, I have 3 ground types. I have 3 dragon types. I will destroy people with my team. Like, I love this team. It was really fun to draft. I'm really happy with this team and everything that I could actually be, because I think I see more than just like a couple things that I should bring here and there. But then we look at Zern's team here. He has a very threatening team of Celesteela, Suicune, Lycanroc, Dusk, Talonflame, Quillfish, Diglett, Garchomp, Tangrowth, Hariyama, Gothitelle, and Mega AUDINO. Now, something I do want to say, all these light ones you see here is Z moves users. He chose the Lycanroc, Dusk, Talonflame, and Garchomp, and I chose Infernape, and Azumarill. I think when we look at these, I think I have a really good matchup against him because I have stuff that could go against his kind of more stally kind of offensive. I don't know if it would be stall necessarily, but I mean, it's like he has a really bulky kind of stally team. Not much, but I mean it's stally in a way. So I want to make sure that I get around it properly. So I think I had the stuff that I could actually use, because when we look at stuff like Celesteela, Suicune, Tangrowth, Gothitelle, and I don't know, I have stuff like my Latios that could do some work here and there. I have my Magneton. I have stuff like Vikavolt. What is this? This is Azumarill, Crocodile, and Infernape. I have stuff that could actually do pretty well to stop these kind of mons from being just so bulky. And Greg, what is it? I am recording PWC Week 1 battle versus Zern. Oh gosh. So yeah, basically going back here. Greg, please. Ooh, I can't spell. Batter. Postcom for the L. Whatever. Bye, Greg. Might see you later, but I don't know. My Hero Academia is booty, even though I haven't watched it. I don't know. Maybe I will. He didn't fight me for it, so whatever. So basically, nonetheless, we see here, I just couldn't go basically into my team. I thought that I had a pretty good matchup to go against his kind of more bulky stuff, and I wanted to start this off with my Mega Latios, my American Airlines, with a very more bulky spread, a 252 HP, a bulky tank set, I would say. 192 timid nature with only 64 attack, because 160 special attack is like, that's humongous for a breaker anyway. So it's like I don't need that much to completely capitalize on it. So I think I was able to use that to my advantage, where I'm able to add to bulk and everything else. But then it goes even further when we see I have Calm Mind, Size Shock, Thunderbolt, and Roost, because I look at his team, I Calm Mind up rather, and then I start to like clear out his team. The only things that he really has to stop this in a way would be a tank growth, if it's AV maybe, because it resists Thunderbolt and is really bulky on the physical side. But I mean, I even beat that if I Calm Mind and Roost up enough. Celesteela I beat with Thunderbolt, Suicune Thunderbolt, Lycanroc Dusk. It doesn't outspeed me, so it would have to. I don't think he would bring it, to be honest, because when I look at it, I have stuff like Infernape, Crocodile, Zygarde, Shaman, Azumarill, really, even Skarmory to an extent, where I don't think Lycanroc Dusk will come. No, Talonflame can be an issue depending on the set, but based on what his set is, that means I get information, so I'm okay, especially with this bulk. It depends, like, it makes a lot of stuff have to be a roll, and it even has to make it so if he's a Z move, he would have to pop it, so that's really nice. Quillfish isn't gonna fight a Mega Latios any day of the week. Same with Diglett. Garchomp has to be scarfed, I would say, and even then, like, my Latios rather would have to be kind of low for a Dragon Claw or Outrage to kill, and even at that point, I still have my Azumarill at that point to come in and set up or do something revenge in a possible way. So I thought it was pretty decent. So yeah, basically it's tank growth. Gothitelle could be a problem. It just, if I go to Calm Mind Roll, I know I'd probably win that, because I could Size Shock it down all the way, and I would still be able to take a lot from Gothitelle's Size Shock as well. And I have the Roost for reliable recovery. You can't trick me, a Choice Scarf or anything like that. So basically, I was already okay with being shadow tagged in against a Gothitelle. Maybe, I don't know if it's that Levitate users can't be trapped. I don't know about that. I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, so and even Mega AUDINO, it has to have the right set to kind of handle me. It has to have like Toxic. I could see something on his team with Toxic and stuff like that. But nonetheless, I think this Latios is just going to put in all the work in this game. Next, we do see Magneton. Magnets, how the fuck do they work? Shout out to my boy Brian for that nickname. He's so beautiful, Brian. Let's see. I'll throw up a picture real fast, and now no, I won't, because then it'll be going through a lot of stuff, and yeah, I might throw it up in a post edit. Who knows? I'll do that though. Let's say it'll go like right here, maybe. Who knows? And now it's gone. So yeah, nonetheless, magnets. How the fuck do they work? With Shed Shell, Magnet Pull, Flash Anvil, Twitch, Thunderbolt, HP, Ice. Something I do want to say is that Shed Shell, yes, I'm very scared with that Diglett, because I found Magneton as one of my biggest, or one of my other win cons. So the fact that it's a preventative system, so that an unspeed boosted Celesteela cannot beat or outspeed this, so I could hurt it a lot better that way. Suicune, this does a lot of damage to a Suicune. Lycanroc Dusk, this is not really going to stay in on it, really. Then we have Talonflame, not going to stay in on it. Quillfish, this could take on Quillfish quite comfortably, and I think that's fine. Diglett, I wasn't going to stay in on Diglett ever. I have stuff like my Vicable and my American Airlines, my Latios, to be able to take that kind of stuff, even stuff like a Crocodile to an extent. So I thought this was a good set. This was able to hurt stuff like the Celesteela and Suicune, and even AUDINO, which I felt were most important. And then even on stuff like Tangrowth and Gothitelle, I would be able to Volt Switch out. The only thing is with that Garchomp, I would need to make sure that he doesn't I would have to predict him rather to go for a dragon move, or if he's locked in or something. That way he can't really beat this set, but that even then, that's a little bit sketchy for me. So nonetheless, this isn't really something that I was for the offensive checks purposes of Diglett, Garchomp, Tangrowth, and Gothitelle. This was rather for the purpose of make sure I don't lose to Celesteela, Suicune, and Mega Audino. So basically, yeah, that was it. Going over to What's Up, my Vikavolt. And this was Aquaberry, Bug Buzz, Flash Cannon, Volt Switch, Roost, 104 HP, 188 speed, with this nice little 216 special attack. I know I'm just coming with all the special attackers, but this, I really like this set. This speed I have here was, if I do remember correctly, this speed was to outspeed a 12 speed invested Celesteela, I believe. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to outspeed a Celesteela, and yet I still wanted to have the bulk that I wanted. So I thought this was a really great set I could run. I wanted also the attacking power, because I thought this was something that was really strong that I could really use against him, because he has stuff like AUDINO, and he has possibility for Tangrowth or Gothitelle being very specially bulky if he does like Assault Vest or Calm Mind respectively. Suicune and Celesteela, even then I want to be able to hit them as hard as I can. So basically, what this was for is, I don't have Thunderbolt on here because Volt Switch already does the job. Bug Buzz is for stuff like just Tangrowth and Gothitelle. Really, any other thing that doesn't really want to switch in. Like, the best thing that comes in on this is not Suicune, but Celesteela. Talonflame doesn't even come in on it well in Audino, but I do have Flash Cannon on that. So even like, this was a pretty nice set. The Aquaberry was for any kind of fire coverage on Celesteela, such as a Flamethrower or Fire Blast. I'm able to live one after rocks, kind of. And then after that, then we have this would even be able to kind of, I say kind of really sensitively right there, because it lives a hit from a Talonflame after rocks, but it doesn't want to take it whatsoever. So this is more for the Celesteela, but I know this can be for Talonflame in a sense if I really want it to be. Now we go to probably my favorite set of the week is Azure, my Azumarill. And we have leftovers, huge power, kind of standard with Parashong, Knockoff, Liquidation, Aquajet. Aquajet I wanted on there for his Lycanroc Dusk and his Talonflame and his Diglett, most really what I wanted. Then Liquidation just for really strong stab against kind of his mons. Knockoff for the utility of it to get off items, because Celesteela doesn't have Z-move, so knocking off would be nice. Knocking off a Suicune is nice. Same with even the Quillfish or Tangrowth, like the stuff that wants to come in on my Azumarill is basically for is what knockoff is for there. So with that, this is the biggest kind of thing on here now is that we have Perish Song, and that is to make sure I don't lose to any form of Celesteela if he comes in on me. I don't lose to any form of Crocoon if he comes in on me. I don't lose to any kind of Calm Mind Gothitelle if he comes in on me, if he's not Choice Scarf. So if he's not the whole Choice Scarf trick and then Calm Mind and trick the scarf back and that kind of stuff, I would not lose to that. So basically how this works is, if he's trying to do anything, I Parashong, and basically everything is on a timer. That way whatever he wants to set up is not able to stay in for the whole game or the whole rest of the game if he's looking for that sweep. And that's what I wanted to do here. I thought this was the set that works so well for this game. Actually, I thought it was really great to go for, and I thought this was going to work really well in the game. Let's see how we do it in the game though. So basically now we can move over to our see you in a while crocodile. So we have basically a bulky, kind of bulky tankish, not really defensive crocodile here with Intimidate with the oh my god, what am I doing? With the 252 HP, 56 in defense, and 200 speed with adamant, no, not adamant, but jolly nature. This speed was for the quillfish, I believe. If not, it was definitely for a Diglett, or the Suicune rather, to make sure that I could get a taunt off on it, because that is what this taunt is for. Now we have like Toxic to get those off. This was like built not to lose to a Suicune if he's not going to click Scald against me, because I don't want him to. I'm going to talk to him to make sure that he has a status. I'm going to taunt him to make sure that he's not going to get not going to be able to get that, what is it, the rest off, to make sure he gets the Toxic off. So I thought this was basically a really good set. I thought this was basically something I could go forward with stuff against like Talonflame and Garchomp, and I thought this was basically what worked best. Knockoff, basically, like I said, just gets off every kind of item that I need to get off. So yeah, this was basically a small go over with the Crocodile. And finally, Mikey Kowalski, the gym leader himself, or not the gym leader, the gym owner. He runs his own gym, guys. Like, don't doubt him. He is a strong boy, right? So he knows how to do his squats and everything. I'm sure of it. Promise. Trust the process, right? So basically, we have a choice band, Infernape with close combat, Flare Blitz, U-turn, Mach Punch. Mach Punch is only here because one, for liking Rock Dusk, even though I didn't think it was going to come in any kind of sense of the word, of team rather. But this was more for the Diglett, because I swear to God, I was not going to lose to a Diglett. I was not going to lose my Infernape to a Diglett if it was if it was the Scarf Diglett. I was not going to lose my Mikey Kowalski to a Diglett, because I hate Diglett. I'm prepped for, so I prepped for it in probably an overly fashioned way, but it's still what I ended up having. Close combat, Flare Blitz are the strongest stab I could use for it, especially against stuff like Celesteela and Tangrowth and Audino, basically, and even Gothitelle to a point if it's not Choice Scarf. U-turn was also for that initiative. So that's basically what we have here. That's the team. I'm gonna go over this real fast. That's probably a little bit too fast, so going here. Yeah, this is basically the team that I felt I was most confident with. Yeah, I didn't really go over these speed EVs. It's just to add bulk right there. We have here, this speed was to outspeed, I believe, 207. I believe that was to outspeed a Gothitelle if it was no speed, or a couple speed points, like maybe 6 or 12 or so, or 8 or 12. I made sure I wanted to outspeed that and be able to get a Parasong off. This was to outspeed also most variants of a Celesteela as well. So with that, I believe, yeah, all these sets and EVs were explained. Now I'm going to go into the battle here. We see that he does bring the Talonflame, the Audino, the Suicune, the Celesteela, the Garchomp, and the Tangrowth. And so this is something that I kind of almost expected. Like, I expected some bulky stuff, because I just look at his team and I hate it. It was disgusting to me, but I love Zern anyway. So maybe get a better like sprite that dude. I don't know. I didn't like him. No. I get something better. Like, look at mine, just so classy right here, and then just not classy at all. But basically, yeah, going over here. So I like this. He has his team. I have my team, and so I figured the best thing that I was going to be able to lead against him was my Crocodile to get up those rocks. And so what we do is we press play, and we see that he leads the Garchomp, and what this probably means is that he is also rocks. So I expect to trade rocks here. No reason to taunt, because I'm not going to outspeed. I expect him to be able to outspeed me, so I go for my rocks. I'm going to go for a Toxic here, as he Earthquakes, does about 34%, but I miss. In the grand scheme of things, I don't think this really matters much, because it just, he ended up hurting himself on that rocky helmet now. But while I was able to get off a Toxic, I don't know, that first Toxic, I get off like, what, the 6% or so with extra toxic. I don't really care about it. I was able to get off a knockoff because he went for that Dragon Claw there. I don't know what exactly he was predicting. Maybe he was going for the Laudio switch, which I get it, but I was not thinking that I was going to need the Crocodile later in the game, because he did not bring stuff like the Gothitelle. So I figured the rest of my team was able to handle stuff such as Celesteela and basically all his bulky threats. So I figured I'm going to go into my Latios here, my American Airlines. So I'm going to go for Omega Evolution, and I'm just going to take out this thing because Psyshock was a relatively free move here. Now I believe he's going to go into his AUDINO, and I figured AUDINO is weak. It's not as a good mon at all. So the best thing to do against this is I'm going to just stay in and call mine. So we see that he is Mega Evolving. He stayed in. He's going to go for the Dazzling Gleam, and we see that does 25%. It does nothing. So basically he goes into a Suicune while I go for a Psyshock, and he just, look at that. That's damage. Something I do want to point out, I didn't calc this at the time, but going from what Zern did tell me at the end of the game, especially because I'm not going to be spoiling anything because this Suicune didn't do anything, but this was a spec Suicune, so that could have had the potential to work. But what I took a while there, especially how you see lag test, but so I took a while there because I didn't know what I wanted to do, because I felt like if I brought in the if I stayed in, I took out that Suicune, then Talonflame is the one that has to come in, and with that is probably the Z Talonflame. So I have to figure out, was I okay with that? Like, I didn't think I could roost, because what if he goes for Roar? So I thought that that was my best play, and basically getting Talonflame in is going to be my best option in terms of figuring out his set. And we do see the Z move, the Supersonic Sky Strike, and we do see that I go down. So I decide I'm going to go into my Azure here, and basically with my Azure I'm going to, my idea here is Aqua Jet, because I don't want this thing coming in on rocks. But basically I figured this is going to be Will-O-Wisp, because he knows that it's like, I'm not going to, like, he could live in Aqua Jet if I'm not choice banned, because he could put in a good amount of bulk. And I'm sorry if you hear that scratching. I don't know, it's just, I don't know, it's something stupid for some reason. But nonetheless, so yeah, it was a roll to kill, and I kind of figured out that it was a less of a roll, because he was jolly and he put more HP investment in. So this wasn't really a roll, but I was okay with even getting burned, because the main priority of this was to make sure that I Parashong the Celesteela and knock off things, so that I was not able to basically just straight up lose to those kind of things. So we see here, I go for Aqua Jet, I get 45% off. It was a little bit of a roll, but I got the middle roll, I believe. Not complaining about it at all. But nonetheless, I'm okay with this. I'm just going to go for another Aqua Jet. He sacks off his Talonflame, and this is where Celesteela comes in. So he's basically thinking that he thought I was Sap Sipper there, and I get it, because I didn't kill it, but I also didn't have all the attack EVs in. I didn't have a choice band or anything like that. I had leftovers, as you saw here. And even with the leftovers and stuff, he thought I was Sap Sipper, so that means stuff like that Tangrowth, and even stuff like Giga Drain, Celesteela would not be able to do much. So he basically has to go in and has to use Air Slash against it, because that's what he thinks. But it's okay, because for me, I just go for Parashong, and the next turn I'm going to go for Knockoff to make sure that he doesn't get the opportunity to use that item to affect. He goes for Air Slash. Luckily, I do not get burned. I go for a knockoff, and I knock off that weakness policy, which is really good, because a +2, all three of those would not have been nice at all. I figured with this, he still sees Celesteela as a win con, so I figured going for double knockoff is the best play, because even if I go for liquidation, it's going to do nothing to Celsius, it's going to do nothing to Mega AUDINO, it's going to do nothing to Tangrowth. So I figured knockoff, even if it's going to do nothing to these two, if I could catch that Tangrowth on a switch, that would be really nice. And he does end up doing that, and I do get that knockoff on him, and I knock off the AV, which means that he would have been able to take a lot of hits from my special mons in the game. So basically, perish next turn. I don't know what to do really. I figure like I could sack this because it's burn. It's basically useless. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do perish song. I don't really know why. I figured that was a misplay by myself. So he went for knockoff, and I die this turn. He has a perish on him now, so he can't stay in on me. So I just take this opportunity. I'm going to go into Mikey Kowalski, and I'm going to click that Flare Blitz, and I'm going to knock out this Tangrowth. And now we see the scariest and the most, how would I say it? The most, in the nice way, the most bullshit thing ever. Because this is a banded Flare Blitz from Infernape. And what do I see here? I see it's only doing 42%. Mega AUDINO, you are so stupid. Why would you be able to take that? It's, oh my god. So what we see here is a wish. So I'm basically like, okay, he's gonna wish stall me or something, but the best thing I need to do for myself is to be able to get as much damage off on this as possible, or else I'm not going to be able to break through this at all. So I go for Flare Blitz, as he ends up going for a Dazzling Gleam. In hindsight, I don't know if that was his best play. I figured if he just kept on going for Wish and Protect, that he would be able to break me down with no Flare Blitz damage, and then even Magneton wouldn't be able to do it, and he could really hurt me with either a Flamethrower or a HP Ground, because I kind of expect that this is what AUDINO would run in order not to lose to a Magneton. Maybe even just Fire Blast or Flamethrower to just hit stuff like the Vikavolt and the Magneton together, instead of HP Ground only hitting one of them. So I've basically figured this might be in trouble, but my game might be in trouble, but he decided to go for Dazzling Gleam to take me out. I don't know exactly why, but I figured that this is my only chance to really clinch the game, as I go into how the fuck do they work, and I'm able to just clean it up with the Flash Cannon. I'm sure he thought this was a choke if I was a Scarf set, but that is not the case, as I am indeed packing Thunderbolt. I am not Scarf, and I'm able to get that 2-0 win over Zern. So nonetheless, that is the game, week 1 from Zern in the PWC. Really great battle. Thank you for the battle, Zern. Mega AUDINO is really bullshit, but nonetheless, I had an amazing time during this battle. I'm glad that my first week back in PWC in this season, I was able to go against you. You're a really great friend of mine, and that's basically the end of this week's battle. I will have week 2 up sometime soon. I just have to record it. I've been kind of slacking on stuff, because even after my update video, I should have what would I say? I should have the drive to record, but like Fortnite Season 5, you know? So nonetheless, I'm gonna make sure I try to balance my time between that kind of stuff and real life and recording. So I want to make sure I get content out, because I did make that update video with sincerity. I want to make sure I do get that content out there. And so basically that's it. I am really happy with how this game went. I thought it was great. A little sad that Vikavolt didn't come out at all, but nonetheless, that's the game. Thank you guys for coming out and watching this. Shout out to Greg, because Greg is a really cool cat. And yeah, so basically that's it for me this week, or this day, or this video. I don't know. We'll see when I decide to put these videos out. But nonetheless, have yourself a great day, and that'll be all for me. Bye!